comfort in comfort zones. I don't know why they call them comfort zones. There's no comfort there. But God has made a way of escape. We have adopted this erroneous mindset that our trauma is safer than to be healed. And that's why when people come to love on us, we don't know how to accept it because we were never exposed to anything else. But then when the love of God shows up, we get terrified. And instead of embracing something different, our flesh automatically reverts back to what is always known. So I challenge you today that if you find yourself still wrestling with trauma and all of those things and the sin in your life, God has come to bring you out of it. God does not want you to stay there. If he wanted you to stay there, the cross wouldn't have been necessary. If he wanted you to stay there, salvation would not have been necessary. If he wanted you to stay there, he wouldn't have sat in the garden and told the people, his disciples, to pray with him for 1 hour. He wouldn't allow himself to be spat on and the crowns of thorns to be put on his head if he wanted you to stay there. He has come that you may have life, the word says, and that you may have it more abundantly. You can get out of survival mode if you want to. Like the sister said, it's a choice. The choice is yours. You have a lot of options, but you only got two choices. You can either live or die. And every decision you make from this moment on speaks to whether you want to live that life more abundantly in Christ, or if you just gonna lay down and mark your time until you die. But you can get up from the trauma. I'm a witness. You can get up from the trauma. I've already written 6, 7, 8 books or something like that. God has given me a podcast radio show where I talk to people all across the world. I'm out here doing things I thought I'd never do. Like Sister Trevita said, I told him, no, I don't want to do that. That ain't me. You need to send that back to somebody else. I don't want to talk to nobody. Trauma, because the trauma was speaking louder than his still small voice that said, Monique, I love you. You're healed. You can do this. I've given this to you. Nobody else can do this but you. Even if you had a twin, nobody else could do this the way you could do it. So I need you to come out of your trauma. I need you to admit that it's there. First of all, you got to admit that it's there because you're hurting. Your body lets you know that you're hurting. Your body lets you know that you're depleted. Your body lets you know that you are not where you should be spiritually, mentally, or emotionally. Go to counseling and therapy. Like I said, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Trust somebody with your trauma. Well, let me stop right there. Use discernment. You can't tell everybody everything. You cannot because they're not equipped to handle that. This is why you pray and ask God what to say, who to say it to, and when. Keep a journal. Write down your thoughts, no matter how ugly they are. Do you know that a lot of the things that are in my books was because of thoughts that I wrote down and journals and just moments with God where he dropped things in my spirit? Grief as a Gangster came at a time where I thought I was going to die, y'all. I'm like, at this point, I don't got nothing else because trauma had engulfed me so, death had bullied me so that I could not see my way out of it. Now imagine you being in this place of total darkness and God still allows you to write and minister to people and you in darkness and you know you in darkness, but you're still saying, yes, Lord, as he brings, see, God does things in stages. He gives you a little bit, you move further, you move closer to him. You do a little bit more, you move closer to him. Don't um don't discredit your journey. Don't discredit your testimony. Love the person that God has created you to be. You're not that person anymore. If you have a relationship with Christ, you are a new creation. The trauma has passed away. But you got to do the work. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things become new. So before I leave y'all, let me give y'all a few little things for trauma. The T stands for trust in the Lord. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. R, take refuge in God. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. That's Psalm 46 and 1. The A is abide in his love. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. That means you got to live there. That's John 15 and 9. You got to stay there. It didn't say visit his love. It said remain in his love. The U is understanding his peace. Philippians 4 and 7 says, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. L, mercy that restores. But because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive in Christ. That's Ephesians chapter 2, 4 through 5. We have been made alive because of the trauma. Trauma has pushed us places that we would have never gone had we not been in any type of situation. If we never had not a nay trial or tribulation, we would not be sitting here. We would still be in our comfort zone somewhere. But there's something about trauma that lights a fire up under you that reveals God to you in the most intimate